What if the frozen fish you trust most is costing you more for breadcrumbs and water than for actual fish? More than 40% of frozen seafood buyers in the UK believe every product in the freezer aisle delivers roughly the same value. But that assumption can quietly drain money from a household budget week after week. The real problem is that many of these quality issues stay hidden until the box is opened, the fish is cooked, and disappointment ends up sitting on the dinner table. Iceland breaded whitefish fillets. Iceland breaded whitefish fillets often attract buyers because the box promises a quick and affordable meal for the whole family. The golden coating and simple packaging make the product look like a safe freezer choice for busy evenings. But the real issue starts after cooking. Many buyers notice the breadcrumb coating feels much thicker than expected, while the fish inside can seem thin and soft. In some lower-cost fish products, the outer layer can make up a large share of the total weight. That means shoppers may be paying for coating instead of fish. The texture can also feel watery instead of flaky. When frozen fish loses its natural firmness, it can make the meal feel processed instead of fresh. For families trying to buy better food on a budget, that difference matters more than the low price on the box. Farm Foods Fish Cakes. Farm Foods fish cakes are popular because they are cheap, simple, and easy to store in the freezer for weeks. Many shoppers see them as a quick comfort meal that can feed children without spending too much money. What most people never realize is what makes up the center. In many budget fish cakes, mashed potato becomes the main ingredient, while the fish plays only a small role. The outside crumb can become crispy in the oven, creating the impression of quality, but the inside often tells a different story. Some buyers report that the filling tastes soft, salty, and heavy instead of fresh. Because the fish flavor is weak, extra seasoning is sometimes used to make the product seem more satisfying. That matters because people buy fish cakes expecting seafood, not mostly filler. The lower price may look attractive at first, but once you see how little fish is actually inside, the value can feel very different. If you are liking this video, make sure you hit the like button, because the next products become even more concerning. Tesco Essential Fish Fingers. Tesco's Budget Fish Fingers are one of the most common frozen seafood products found in British homes. Parents often buy them because they are familiar, affordable, and easy for children to eat. But that is only part of the story. Fish fingers in the lower price range can contain a smaller amount of fish than many shoppers expect. The crispy coating can make each finger look thick, but inside, the fish portion may be surprisingly thin. That becomes more noticeable after cooking. Instead of a firm, flaky texture, some buyers find the center soft and slightly rubbery. Because the fish is cut thin, it can lose moisture quickly in the oven. The outside becomes crunchy, while the inside loses the natural texture people expect from seafood. The problem is not that fish fingers are always bad. The problem is that buyers often assume every fish finger is the same. In reality, the fish percentage can change the product completely. When too much of the box is made from coating, the meal can feel more processed than nutritious. That can quietly affect what families eat every week. Asda battered basa fillets. Asda battered basa fillets often look like a smart buy because the portions appear large and the price usually stays lower than cod or haddock. Many shoppers believe they are getting more fish for less money, but the fish itself raises questions. Basa is naturally softer than traditional whitefish sold in the UK. That softer texture can become even more noticeable after freezing. Once cooked, some fillets feel almost spongy instead of flaky, and this is where things become concerning. The thick batter can hide the fish quality. At first, the golden coating creates the look of a generous fillet. But once cut open, the fish inside can seem pale, thin, and less satisfying than expected. Some buyers also notice the flavor feels very mild. Because the fish itself is delicate, seasoning in the batter often becomes stronger than the seafood. That matters because people believe they are paying for fish, not mostly coating and texture. While the price can seem attractive in the freezer aisle, the eating experience can leave buyers disappointed. For anyone expecting a proper fish shop-style meal at home, this product can feel like a cheaper substitute rather than real value. Morrison's Fish Pie Mix. Morrison's Fish Pie Mix looks like a practical choice for shoppers who want to make homemade seafood meals without buying separate ingredients. The idea sounds convenient because one bag can provide several types of fish in a single purchase. But convenience can hide inconsistency. Many fish pie mixes contain uneven pieces that vary in size and texture. Some pieces stay firm while others break apart quickly during cooking. That can change the whole texture of a finished dish. What most shoppers never think about is moisture. Different fish release water at different rates when frozen. When those pieces cook together, extra liquid can leak into the pie filling. Instead of a rich, creamy sauce, the result can become thinner than expected. The problem did not stop there. Smaller leftover cuts are sometimes used in mixed packs because appearance matters less once the product is inside a recipe. That does not always mean the fish is unsafe, but it can affect consistency. For families spending more to make a homemade meal feel special, that matters. A fish pie should taste comforting and balanced. When one bite feels soft and another feels chewy, the product loses trust. On the surface, this looks like a simple freezer shortcut, but the final meal can reveal a quality gap many buyers never notice until dinner is already served. Young's Chip Shop Fish Fillets. Young's is one of the best-known frozen seafood brands in Britain, which is why many shoppers trust the name without asking too many questions. The Chip Shop range promises the feeling of takeaway fish without leaving home. That promise sounds appealing. The fillets often come with a thick golden batter that becomes crispy in the oven. For some buyers, that feels satisfying at first, but the real issue can be hidden underneath. Because the batter is heavy, it can become the main part of the meal. The fish itself may taste mild while the coating takes over the flavor. Some people expect the fish to be the star, yet the batter often gets more attention than the seafood. That changes the value completely. A large-looking fillet can appear generous, but part of that size comes from coating. Buyers may believe they are getting a premium portion when a noticeable amount of the product is not fish at all. There is also the health side. Thicker battered products usually carry more fat and calories than lightly coated fish. For shoppers trying to choose healthier meals, that difference matters. Young's still has strong products in other ranges, but this one can disappoint buyers who expect the brand name alone to guarantee a better dinner. Bird's Eye Breaded Haddock Fillets. Bird's Eye has built trust in British homes for generations. Many people grew up seeing the brand in the freezer and automatically connect the name with quality and reliability. That history matters, but even trusted brands can produce products that deserve a closer look. The breaded haddock fillets appear premium because the box shows thick white fish inside a light golden crumb. The packaging suggests a balanced meal that feels healthier than heavier battered options. But appearance can be misleading. After cooking, some buyers find the fillets smaller than expected. The coating can stay crisp, yet the fish portion may feel thinner than the image on the box suggests. That can leave some shoppers wondering whether they paid more for the brand than the actual product. The real issue goes deeper. When a premium product looks average on the plate, the higher price becomes harder to justify. Buyers often assume a respected label always means stronger value, but value depends on what reaches the fork, not just what appears on the packaging. This does not make the product terrible. It simply means reputation should never replace attention. Sometimes a product can still be decent while offering less than shoppers believe they are paying for. In a crowded freezer aisle, that difference can quietly cost money over time. Aldi Fishmonger Fish Cakes. Aldi has gained a reputation for offering lower prices on products that often surprise shoppers. That reputation makes many people assume every seafood item in the freezer section must also be a hidden bargain. Sometimes that is true. But these fish cakes can be more complicated. The outer crumb usually cooks well and creates a crispy shell that looks appealing on the plate. The first impression can feel positive. But once the center is cut open, some buyers notice the filling feels softer than expected. The fish flavor can be mild. Instead of tasting like a seafood product first, the filling can lean heavily toward potato and seasoning. That may not seem serious at first, but it changes what the buyer is actually paying for. What most people never realize is that cheaper seafood products often rely on lower-cost ingredients to keep prices down. Extra starch can improve texture while reducing the amount of expensive fish inside. That matters for nutrition too. Many people buy fish because they want protein and a healthier meal. When too much of the product comes from filler, the health value can drop without being obvious. The fish cakes are not the worst in the freezer aisle, but they can disappoint shoppers who expected a stronger balance between price, taste, and real seafood content. Worth your money, Waitrose Essential Cod Fillets. After looking at disappointing products, it is important to talk about frozen fish that actually delivers what shoppers expect. One better option is Waitrose Essential Cod Fillets. At first glance, the packaging looks simple. That simplicity is part of the appeal. Instead of hiding the fish under heavy batter or thick breadcrumb, these fillets focus on the fish itself. Buyers can usually see a cleaner cut with a more natural shape, which already creates more trust before cooking begins. Once prepared, the difference becomes clearer. The cod often keeps a firmer texture and flakes properly when cut. That may sound small, but texture tells people a lot about seafood quality. Soft, watery fish can ruin a meal, while firm fish feels closer to fresh. The flavor also stays cleaner. Because there is less coating, the natural taste of the cod remains the main part of the meal. That makes it easier for buyers to season the fish the way they want instead of fighting against processed flavors. The price is higher than some budget brands, but here, shoppers usually pay for fish rather than filler. For anyone wanting a healthier freezer option that still feels convenient, this product can offer the kind of value many cheaper products fail to deliver. Worth your money. M&S Chunky Haddock Fish Fingers. One frozen fish product stands above many others in the UK freezer aisle, and it often surprises people because it comes from a supermarket own brand range instead of a major seafood company. M&S Chunky Haddock Fish Fingers have earned strong praise for a reason. The first difference is size. These fish fingers usually contain thicker pieces of haddock than standard fish fingers. That changes the entire eating experience because the fish feels like the main product, not just the filling inside a crispy shell. The coating stays lighter. Instead of overwhelming the fish, the crumb supports it. That creates a better balance between texture and flavor. When the outside becomes crisp and the inside stays flaky, the product feels much closer to restaurant quality. The haddock itself matters too. Haddock naturally has a richer flavor than some cheaper white fish used in lower-cost products. That deeper taste gives these fish fingers a more premium feel from the first bite. The price is not the lowest. But value is not always about spending less. Sometimes value means getting exactly what the box promises. For buyers who want convenience without giving up quality, these fish fingers prove frozen seafood does not always mean compromise. In a market full of disappointing choices, this is one product that can genuinely feel worth buying again. Frozen fish can look simple from the outside, but the difference between smart value and wasted money can be hidden inside the box. Some products use coating and filler to create the illusion of quality, while others actually give shoppers the fish they believe they are paying for. And once you understand what is really happening in the freezer aisle, it becomes much harder to ignore the difference. Which frozen fish product has disappointed you the most? Let me know in the comments below.